Hello, hello, everyone. I am so glad you guys could be here. I need to rant a little bit because this topic has been bothering me since yesterday. And I thought by today I might cool down a bit, but no, it's bothered me even more. And I just have to jump on here and discuss this with you because I am absolutely outraged. And maybe you guys could tell me, no, Mole, I think you are overreacting. I think you may be looking too into this and just maybe you just need to step back and take a break. Because I know you guys will always tell me the truth about things. I know I can always rely on you to put me in my place when I get out of line, and I have no problems with that. But we need to talk about this certain statement that Meghan made the other day on, I was about to say Lord Farquaad's podcast, but Jaime Kern Lima's podcast. And it just goes to show you that Meghan Markle truly is an empty vessel, a clueless individual who always puts her big old gnarly feet in her mouth and really shows herself to be the type of person that she actually is. We all know that she's trying to play this act of pretending to be all like, I'm such a good mother. I'm such a good friend. I'm such a good person. Well, guess what? If you were a good person, if you were a good mother, if you were the greatest individual ever, you wouldn't need to be telling us that all the time. The thing that I have found and learned in my years of living on this planet and getting to know people and their behaviors, I've always noticed that the mothers or the parents or the people, the individuals who always out of nowhere need to tell people, I'm such a great mom. I'm such a great person. I'm such a good individual. I'm always such a good human being. Like, I am the greatest person you will ever meet. Like, whatever. Those people are usually the worst individuals you will ever meet. Those people are usually the ones that are running a little house of horrors at home. The children aren't being fed, they're neglected. They don't care about them. They're horrible human beings. They aren't nice. They are ungrateful. They're unappreciative. And this is all Meghan Markle. This is exactly, the more she comes out and needs to constantly tell us how amazing of a mother she is, makes you realize, nah, you're not that great. It's like the ones who say you can trust me are the worst. Yeah. It's like, trust me, trust me. I get it. I totally get it. But before I get into this whole Megan thing, let me just quickly wish the most incredible and beautiful couple that I greatly adore. A couple that definitely doesn't need to tell everyone in the world how amazing they are and how in love they are and how incredible they are as parents. The Prince and Princess of Wales. I'd like to wish them a happy 14th anniversary. When you think about it, even though these two are celebrating their 14th anniversary, they have been together for over 22 years now, right? That is love. That is what you would say true love. Now this is a fairy tale love story. This is like, remember, this is where it all started in St. Andrews, and this is where it began, and 22 years later here we are, and they are just, not needing to tell everyone that they are in love. Give me a second here, my darlings, because my little one just walked in and clearly they need something. Hold on a second. Sorry, my darlings. My little one is home from school. They are sick. And so they forgot their little kangaroo toy in my office here. So they just wanted to run in and grab their little kangaroo toy and then go back and hang out with Mama Mole, because Mama Mole is here helping me out with the little one. And while I'm taking care of some errands during the day. And shout out to Mama Mole for helping me out and taking care of my little gremlin. Thank you, Mama Mole. Much appreciated. But back to the topic. Yeah, little one, they're like little petri dishes when they are in kindergarten, right? And you would think that Meghan would mention something like this, but it's incredible how they've never gotten sick or mentioned that they have caught anything from their little petri dishes from home, from school, right? But yeah, my little one brings home a lot of germs from school. So the minute I see there's a little bit of sniffles, I keep them home. So, but let me get back to this. Shout out to Mama Mole. Thank you. Yeah, definitely nice to have a mom. Trust me, I am ever so grateful to have Mama Mole around and just to have both my parents around at this time. Trust me, very grateful. Anyways, let's get back into this, because happy anniversary to the duo that we all love, and we can't wait to see many, many, many more. Okay, let's get into this raggedy trollop, shall we? William and Catherine definitely are a fairy tale. Yeah, moms definitely are the best. I agree. I agree very much so. Moms give you unconditional love, right? And they are the one person in this world who will always love you no matter what. But okay, let's get petty instead of getting cheesy, because if I start getting cheesy, I'm going to start crying and getting all, but let's get petty here. Okay, let me do this. So this clip has been bothering me since yesterday, and I apologize in advance that I have to unleash this nonsense on your ears. But I want you to listen to this, and I'm going to get into what I have to say afterwards, because this really, really pissed me off. Listen to this.
That man loves me so much. And look what we built. We've built a beautiful life, and we have two healthy, beautiful children.
The whole thing, like, look at what we built. You really haven't built anything. If we're being completely honest here, which I'm going to be here, I'm going to tell you, everything that you have is on the back of the royal family. If Meghan Markle never married Prince Harry, she wouldn't be sitting across from Jaime Kern Lima, because Jaime Kern Lima would not give her the time of day, ever. Jaime Kern Lima built her cosmetics within a short period of time to sell to L'Oreal for $1.2 billion. So, of course, Meghan has cozied up to her, is probably love bombing her, is acting like, oh, you're such a wealth of knowledge and blah, 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 and is trying to get the information from her so that Meghan can also be a Jaime Kern Lima. But the thing is that Meghan doesn't have the same work ethic that Jaime Kern Lima does, or did. I don't know if she does anymore, but Meghan doesn't have the same drive, the same work ethic, because Jaime sold it to L'Oreal for 1.2 billion. But let me continue on here, because
children, and and I always think about it like the end of Super Mario Brothers, when you get to the final level, and what's the goal in Super Mario? They're like, slay the dragon, save the princess.
Did this nutcase just compare herself to a Super Mario princess? Like a video game princess? Every single time she opens her mouth, she shows us that she deserves to be in a padded jacket. She deserves to be in a padded cell with a straight jacket on. Like, you are nuts. I wonder if at this point, Jaime Kern Lima's edible kicked in, because her face must have hurt from keeping the same ridiculous smile and nodding up and down. Like, did your edible kick in at this time, lady? Because there's no way I could have kept a straight face like that the entire time. Oh, right, because it's feminism. I know. It's feminism, right? Being saved by the man. But let's keep going because the next part is what pisses me right off and what I'm going to get into.
I'm like, that's my husband.
Are you in love now more than ever, more than you've ever been?
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine at the beginning, everyone has like butterflies and then we immediately went into the trenches together.
Wait, what? This is what got me. This is what pissed me off. Let me bring it back. Okay. Let me bring it back because I'm going to have a sip of water and then I'm going to drag this slag for absolute filth. This baby voice, you know what's funny is that when Jaime Kern Lima was doing her QVC shows back in the day, she never had the baby voice. The baby voice is such an LA, California thing because ever since I've moved down here, I find myself doing it sometimes when I'm talking to people and I'm like, oh my God, I don't talk like that. Like your voice just all of a sudden goes baby like and you talk like this to each other for some reason. It's wild. Okay. I don't know what it is in the air down here, but just they start talking like that and it's weird. It is absolutely. I'll admit, I'll catch myself sometimes when I'm at some store. If some other young girl is talking to me, I'll find myself responding to her in the same voice like this, like, no thanks, I'm good. Margie M, thank you, says Megan sure knows how to tear things down. She definitely does. It's annoying. I don't like this voice.
Butterflies
But listen to this.
and then we immediately went into the trenches together.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate, like 6 months into dating. So now 7 years later, when you have a little bit of breathing space.
Okay. Can I just show you guys for a second here? Let me show you guys. Meghan Markle, I don't know if she is dumb as a box of rocks, if she is absolutely slow in the head. I don't know if she is mentally delayed or what it is with her, if the drugs have gotten to her, if the illegal substances have gotten to her. But this, what I'm showing you, is what a trench is. Okay. This is what men used to spend their times during war, something that Harry would never know about, because this is where they would be during war fighting off the enemies. And Meghan Markle compared dating a prince, moving into, because remember, within 2 months of her dating Prince Harry, she was living in a taxpayer funded home on palace grounds with tons of security. She didn't have to pay for anything. Everything was paid for. And it was Nottingham Cottage, which is, I know they call it Nottingham Cottage, but it's still quite large. I know they want to make it seem like it was a 2-room shack, but it definitely wasn't anything like that. Meghan Markle had the nerve to compare the palaces, the privilege, the estates that she got to reside in to this. This is a trench. This is where many men spent their days, nights in the water. I've seen pictures of men with like waist deep water. There was also a comment on my Twitter page where someone mentioned that she had someone in their family who spent at least 45 days in a trench in like waist deep water. There were parasites in the water. There were rats in the water. And Meghan Markle compares dating a prince, living on palace grounds with all that opulence to this. To this. Now, does that not tell you how much of a vile, ungrateful, despicable harpy, ingrate? How many other words can I use for her? She drips with entitlement. Meghan Markle is literally ungrateful for the life of luxury that she was handed on a silver platter. And I will never understand why. I will never understand why the royal family allowed this raggedy trollop, this charlatan who never showed that she was a trustworthy or even worthy enough individual to be given all of these opportunities and access to prestigious events and to join the royal family during walkabouts as a royal girlfriend. This woman was fast-tracked as a royal. She had privileges many other royal women did not get until they were married into the royal family. Catherine, for instance, had none of the privileges that Meghan Markle was fast-tracked and given. And yet she has been whining the entire time. She has been crying and moaning and making it seem like her life is so difficult. I started dating a prince. Well, guess what, Meghan? What did Meghan do before meeting Prince Harry? She opened briefcases. She pretended to suck a cock on 90210 and also in that movie that she played in. She basically got naked and got banged up against a filing cabinet or was on her back in a bed on Suits until the main character decided that he wanted to focus on his family because there were rampant rumors of him and Meghan doing the horizontal lambada while they were on set. When he was taken off the show, when he left the show, Meghan Markle was written out of the show. There was no use to her. I know Meghan likes to claim that she was the star in Suits, but how are you the star of Suits when you were number 6 on the call sheet? When you had less than, 30 minutes of time, screen time within all 7 episodes? How is that possible? This woman literally had nothing until she got her hands on a stupid prince who basically caters to her every whim. And yet she still finds a way to whine. She still finds a way to complain, have these crocodile tears, because there were no tears. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Meghan Markle burst into tears. There were no tears there. All of this in a pathetic bid for sympathy while she lounges around in a multi-million-dollar home that she didn't do anything to buy for herself. She was given this home. Let me remind you guys, okay? Let me remind you guys that when Meghan and Harry got married before they moved into Nottingham Cottage, let me find it here, because a lot of people seem to forget that Harry and Meghan, right before they got married, when they started dating, do you guys remember the farmhouse in the Cotswolds that they were living in? Their secret 2.5 million pound farmhouse that they were there? And this was after they turned down they say turned down living next door to William and Catherine, but let's be honest, William didn't want that trollop living next door to them at all because he knew who she was from day one. He knew that sticky-fingered scallywag would be someone who would probably try and get into their apartment and rifle through it or try and stick cameras in there because she is a freak. But Harry and Meghan were living in this farmhouse since May, since before their wedding. And then what happened? And then they had to spend all that money on, remember, Frogmore Cottage. So how did they pay this, the money for this? That's what I want to know. How did they pay for this place? And it just so happened that this property also just happens to be a property that Amal and George Clooney have stayed at, Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian have stayed at, even Cell Block 6 Doria Ragland was allowed to stay at. So this, let's just say it was paid for by taxpayer money, or let's just say that Charles gave them private money or queen money, or I don't know. But this is where they lived. And yet they spent all that money. So why would they need to spend the money for Frogmore Cottage to refurbish it, to renovate it, if they already lived in a beautiful farmhouse? I mean, it makes me sick, the fact that this is where you lived. You had access to this kind of opulence, and you have the audacity to compare it to a trench? Screw you. Seriously, screw you. I'm offended because I have people in my family who have served in the military, and I find it absolutely disgusting that she would compare it to living in palaces to being in a trench. It is absolutely foul. Where miracles fly, thank you for the super chat here. You're the best. No, you're the best for being here and listening to my nonsense. Seriously, thank you all for being here, because honestly, this really pissed me off. Hashtag pandas, thank you, my dear, for the super sticker. That's very sweet of you. Oh, and you've become a new member. Thank you, Where Miracles Fly. You're so kind. Thank you. But this is absolutely vile. You had the absolute opulence, and Meghan has like a spoiled nature where she takes absolute prestige and opulence and turns it into a minor or takes a minor inconvenience and turns it into like some sort of grand tragedy. She literally thrives on playing the victim. She's constantly weaving tales of woe to anyone who will listen, and then she's completely oblivious. While you're sitting here and bitching and moaning and complaining, you're sitting in a multi-million-dollar home doing it. You're sitting in a $1 million studio doing it. You idiot, you're sitting on $15 million grounds doing it. Do you not realize how ridiculous you look? In the trenches equals being at an imaginary war with a royal family? I guess so. I guess in her drug-addled, deluded brains, she thinks she's at war with everyone. For some odd reason, this trollop thinks she has to prove to everyone that she is something. We never asked you to prove to anyone anything. We already know what you are. And yet she always wants to play the victim. And the thing that pisses me off is that there were soldiers who were dodging bullets, who gave up their life on the line, and she is comparing marrying into the royal family and dating a prince to being in the trenches. These are the true warriors who were shivering in mud-soaked foxholes, who were putting, like I said, their life on the line. And this broad is complaining about what? It's nothing but a nonstop 7-year narcissistic tantrum of a mockery of real suffering that is going on in the world. Meghan Markle truly is a rancid blight on the opulence, because she is so self-obsessed to appreciate what she has. I've said it before. She's a pathetic leech, and she always has a problem. Her mere existence is a stain on the crown she is unfit to touch or ever wear on her head. Meghan Markle has no idea how a person should have dignity. She is nothing but a loathsome parasite who would rather spit on her crown than wear it with a shred of dignity. This woman is nothing but a trollop who Prince Harry married. I am absolutely, look, I just wanted to like come on here and just, because I was like, how do you compare living on palace grounds, living in a beautiful cottage that you're not even paying for, comparing it to the trenches? The fact that Meghan Markle married a prince, received an over 44 million pound wedding, where 32 million pounds of that was spent by the taxpayers for security that you thought you needed because, oh, you were in so much danger because an idiot Harry believed it. We're supposed to believe that Meghan Markle, who received over 1 million pounds in jewels and clothing from Charles because she couldn't understand that you don't accept freebies. So instead, he paid for everything. She couldn't understand that receiving over 4.5 million pounds from Charles as an allowance. She went on 14 private trips during her 18 months as a royal, and she spent 9 months pretending to be pregnant and did only 72 days worth of engagements. What the F is this stupid effing ungrateful twat blithering about? Seriously. Where would Meghan Markle be if she did not marry Harry? I bet you she would not be sitting her flat pancake bottom in a $15 million compound pretending like she's a victim. I'm sorry, guys. I am just going off. I'm just heated. How do you compare yourself? Like, how effing rude and disrespectful is it to veterans who actually spent time in trenches? And your husband is the face of Invictus, is the patron of Invictus, of people who are military veterans who actually served and got hurt. Like, you dummy. Why are you making these kinds of comments? You really don't think before you speak. You really, like, I'm angry. It made me really angry to hear her constantly act like she is a victim. And I'm glad that now more people are starting to wake up to the more times she opens her mouth and vomits her nonsense, we see how much of an ungrateful, unappreciative, ungracious, thoughtless, rude little scallywag trollop this uneducated tool is. Really, you got the chance of a lifetime, and here you are making up all this BS like, I'm such a victim. Look, I didn't really get to be so free until I left the royal family. Well, you're still taking digs at the royal family, you miserable wench. If you were actually happy with your life, you wouldn't be constantly complaining in the way that you are. You wouldn't be constantly moaning and groaning about how hard done you are. The fact is that Meghan Markle had it made, but due to her own stupid ego, her own foolishness of believing her own stink, she thought she was bigger than the royal family. And truly, she isn't. She is really nothing without the royal family. That's why she constantly has to trash them, but yet still using the Duchess of Sussex titles, still calling herself Her Royal Highness. I know Meghan wants to claim like, oh, I only use HRH in private. No, trollop. We saw in Nigeria when you and Harry were announced as Her Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. We all heard in Colombia when you were to be referred to as Her Royal Highness or to be called ma'am afterwards. That. Like, this woman, imagine being at her big old age and wanting to be a princess. You had a chance, but you screwed it up. You fumbled the bag in the most epic manner. And every single time Meghan Markle opens her mouth to just complain some more, we see how much of an idiot you truly are. Playing the victim is Meghan's art. She plays like a sniveling performance that insults us, and she thinks that we don't realize that this is all BS. You may be able to fool Harry because he is a dumbass, but not us, not the public, and not myself. Meghan Markle is truly rotten to the core. She poisons the air she breathes. She's a loathsome parasite. Like I said, she is a vile, ungrateful harpy, an insufferable leech who really is constantly wallowing, like I said, in unearned opulence, and she's perpetually dissatisfied. She has an ungrateful heart. She has so much contempt for people, especially even her own husband. Have we ever heard Meghan Markle tell Prince Harry that she loves him? Never. But oh dear. Rebecca says, would not want to cross Molly. You go, girl. I'm sorry. Like I'm take a deep breath, Mole. I'm just disappointed. Like, you are literally living your life on charity funds, any kind of funds that you are receiving in Archwell. You are using US aid money. You are literally using government funds in misappropriating them and mishandling them, and yet you constantly want to pretend like you're a victim. Like, piss off. Katie, sorry, I saw that. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. What's going on? Can you please call names in other languages you speak? Maybe on the next one. That means I'd have to get really mad. The only times the other languages start flying out is when I'm really mad or if I'm muttering something under my breath. Thank you for being here for your first live ever, Rebecca. That's so awesome. That's so amazing. Thank you. I suspect Molly will not be hosting Dow's second appearance on a podcast. I don't think she'd be able to handle me, because I do all of my, like, these lives that I do are just right off the cuff. I don't make notes. I just go with what comes off the top of my head. And I like to make it as, as authentic sounding as it can be. I don't like to be scripted. I don't like to be told, oh, you have to look like you just ingested an edible and keep a shit-eating grin on your face all day long and just bow and nod your head to the inane nonsense coming out of the mouth of a trollop who is best known for sucking on cucumbers. Really, Meghan, you constantly want to say you work so hard. Life is so hard. You work so hard. Who knew swallowing bananas at Soho House was so hard? That's all you had to do to get where you are now. Because I'm sure Prince Harry hasn't had his banana swallowed by you in a few years. Let's be honest. Let's see. Hold on. Honesty and truth. Katie Artist asked Molly to put up my comment. It is important. Did she say she was 13 in 1990? Let me see here. I'm going to have to go and look back at that one. Honesty and truth. Wait, didn't someone catch the interview where the strumpet was saying she was 13 in 1990? I didn't catch that part, but I'll go through it and I'll watch it again just for you to see, because remember there was that weird guy that came out and said that, like, what was his name? Joshua Silverstein or something, that said that he was Meghan's first kiss when they were 13. And he was born in 1975. And he said that they were the same age. Yeah, let me look into that, honesty and truth, okay? I'll look into it. But I agree. But I doubt Harry's been hard in the last, oh dear, I don't even want to think about that at all. Disgusting. Disgusting. Don't want to know. Don't want to know. Anyways, friends, let me just take some comments from you guys, because I think I'm done dragging this hoe for today. I'm done dragging the slag for today. The fact that she compared living in palace grounds, the fact that you're living in the house that you live today is because of the royal family. You should be thanking the royal family for everything that she has. I think she's at least 48. Look, her face may be 48, but her hands and her skin looks way past 73 with all the liver spots and sunspots she's got. It's crazy. Okay, you would think with all the money that she supposedly had, go get some proper like treatments, like get some creams, get some, I don't know, like, God, it's terrible. She's beyond awful. Yeah. On Kathy White says, honesty and truth, you heard right. So there's something there for you. The receding hairline, folks, is a black thing. You guys are so funny in the chat. Anyways, my friends, I got to get out of here. I got to run some errands, but I should have some other things for you guys up a little bit later because this podcast just, yeah, makes Meghan look insufferable, makes her even more ungrateful than before. It just shows how just how much of an insufferable ingrate she truly is. It's like Meghan truly is a putrid, ungrateful vulture. Let's be honest. She's a spoiled, venomous hag who does nothing but churn out fake sob stories and has the, like, to compare it to, just makes me upset, and I'm just going to start going off again. But anyways, at the end of the day, let me just say this. Meghan Markle is nothing but a festering canker on the splendor she's too narcissistic to deserve. She's a vile parasite spitting on her throne while warriors bleed for the freedom she defies with her shameless, sniveling existence. I cannot stand this scallywag. I cannot stand this parasite, this ungrateful vulture. I cannot deal with a person who just cannot be appreciative of the cards that they were handed in life. And yeah, I'm going to be a pain in the ass of Meghan Markle for the next couple days because you just compared yourself to soldiers. You are a nerd, my friend, but I'm going to get into it later. Anyways, my darlings, I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for all of you that sent a super sticker and a super chat. I appreciate all of you. Thank you to the mods who are here. I appreciate you all. And thank you for hanging out with me and listening to me rant. And my apologies if I went off a little bit too hard there. But seriously, the woman's a trollop. Harry literally married a Soho House trollop, but who knows? Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Bye, guys. Toodaloo.